Okay, this might be a slightly shonky video, but I wanted to talk through my first ever good move in chess. Well, the first ever move I really enjoyed in chess, where I really thought, like, I've got a fucking idea here, and I'm going to try this crazy thing, but it just might work. And it did work, and it was very rewarding. And it's kind of, it's like what I'd like to capture in my chess game. You know, if there's one thing I want to preserve from chess, it's this idea of, you know, you sacrifice your queen for some and somehow get checkmate out of it. Like, that's beyond my level. But I did have one nice moment of doing something counterintuitive that really paid off. So I'm doing pretty well in this game already. You can see the evaluation bar likes my position a lot, and so do I. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'm kind of bullying his king into the corner here. I've got loads of pieces up here, and he's only got these two rooks. This one could be a problem, but I have so many threats that it can never really take me without being taken in return. So as long as it doesn't threaten my queen, it's fine. This one's boxed into the corner. It hasn't bothered me at all. But I'm struggling to get checkmate here, mostly because I'm a bad player. I don't know what I'm doing. It's probably possible in not that many moves, but it's feeling a bit slippery. I can't quite do it. And one of the reasons it's been hard for me is this knight here. This knight threatens this square. Can I actually draw on this? Threatens this square, and this square. And this square, I'd love to put my queen there. So if I put my queen there, he's in check. He has to move his king. When he does, I get to take the bishop for free. And because he has to move his king downwards, I would recheck him as well. I don't know where it goes from there because I'm not smart enough. But it seems bad for him, right? It seems like I'm really bullying him then. And the writing's on the wall. This square has often looked really good for this bishop. It threatens that rook, which, like I said, is not the most important rook in the world, but I'd love to take it. I'd happily trade a bishop for it, I think. And there could be some other thing where it's protecting, because it's targeting that tile, I can safely take it with something else and that kind of stuff and do no trade at all. At times this square's been useful too, like that would have been a good place to put my queen in some situations. And I can't do anything because of this goddamn knight, and I can't threaten the knight with anything really. And that's in the back of my mind. I'm struggling with this. And then the next move the AI plays is move his queen down here. Bit of a weird one. The AI thinks, the meta AI, the analysis AI thinks that's weird, or what are you doing there? That doesn't seem like the right thing to do. But it's threatening my rook, that's what it's doing. And I looked at this, and this actually felt like quite a sort of human, sort of psychological move to me. Like, he's losing over here. He's never really going to wriggle out of this as long as I don't blunder something. And that he's basically trying to distract me. He's coming down here, look, you've got a valuable piece here. I can just fucking take it. And I kind of knew when I was in this position, like, the AI, the analysis, the sort of, you know, I'll just say stockfish when I mean, like, the game's smartest possible analysis of the board. Stockfish probably wants me to just let the rook get taken, because I know that's kind of probably the right thing to do. Like, this, I'm winning over here, don't get distracted, focus on the prize, and just closing the checkmate. The fact that you lose a rook is he's never gonna work his queen all the way around and start actually interfering with me here. And I don't need that rook for the checkmate, really. But I also thought that's probably true if you're a good chess player and you know how to get checkmate in like 4 moves with this setup. And I don't. I've been fiddling around with it, especially with that goddamn knight there. I've been fiddling around and just can't quite put my pieces in the really killer positions. So I don't think I'm going to get checkmate in like 4 moves. I think I'm going to win probably, but just letting him take a rook for free just so I get 1 extra move up here, I'm not confident I can make that 1 extra move pay off. I often find myself in situations here where, like, I do something, they dodge it, I go back to where I was to threaten them again, and it's just like, well, that's 2 moves that didn't achieve anything. So I don't like letting him take my rook here. And so I thought about it for a while, but I also don't like the idea of just retreating it. Like, that does feel like I'm just being baited and he can just keep threatening it probably. I mean, maybe not. If I just retreat it, you probably can't threaten it again. But it still feels like he's just going to keep causing problems over here. And he totally can threaten it if I went down there. And so I'm like, all right, I don't want him to let me take my rook, but I don't want to waste the turn just retreating it. And I realized if I take this pawn, which I don't care about at all, like, I know it's always good to take a pawn, but I literally don't think a pawn will ever matter. If I take that, well, I can't do that because it's threatened by the knight. I thought, well, that knight fucking annoys me. Like, that knight is the biggest problem in me getting checkmate here. And it's not even, I can't even take that knight. I can't take the knight. But even just having it move away for 1 turn from this thing, I think that's worth more to me than a rook is. I think I'd rather lose my rook and have the knight not be there than I would do neither of those things. And it's actually like this knight is doing so much work without having to take a turn. Like it never has to move. It just keeps these squares safe without him having to spend a turn on that. If it moves away, to get back, he has to spend a turn on that specifically. And that will never get him out of check. Moving that back will never get him out of check. And I can put him in check pretty much every turn. I can sort of paralyze him. I can just keep him pinned by constantly threatening. But I can't close the deal with that knight there. And so if I just take that pawn, I am hoping he'll fall for the bait, because this is free for him now. It was free last time as well, if I hadn't moved it. I'm making it free for him again, and it's kind of a better kind of free because he doesn't have to use his queen. I mean, who cares? But it looked like that's a tempting move. I feel like a human would take it. A human of my skill level would probably think, oh, cool, free rook, I'll take that. Because, especially if he was human, and he's not, but if he was, he may not be aware of how much work that knight is doing because it's all passive and silent. It's, like I said, it never has to move. It just sits there and it prevents me from doing all this stuff. And he's probably not thinking of my moves in as much depth as I'm thinking of my moves. Almost by definition, I don't think of his moves in as much depth as he does. If he's a human like me, and so he's probably not aware how much of a thorn in my side this knight is. And so the free rook just seems like a clear win. And I was very pleased AI did take it. And actually, what I'm really interested to look in the analysis is the Stockfish likes this. It doesn't think it's the best thing, but it thinks it's pretty good, which is very reassuring to me, because that's what I want my enemy to do. And so if Stockfish said that was a blunder, I'd be like, oh, I only really won because the AI blundered. But here it's like, no, I put him in a position where one of his best moves was the thing that ultimately won me the game. It took away this thorn on my side. And I'm actually played from there. I don't remember all my decisions making, but I finally get to put my queen exactly where I wanted it up there because it's not threatened by the thing. And he can't move the knight back because he's in check. He's got to move his king down. As soon as he moves his king down, I can take the bishop. And he's in check again, so he's screwed again. By the way, the AI thinks that Stockfish thinks that he should have moved the bishop up there. If he does that, I think it's not letting me do it, but I think. Oh, sorry. He should have done it then. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. He can do that, but I've just taken with this, so he still loses the bishop. It doesn't like that, but who cares? Oh yeah, I could take it with the queen as well. I thought there was a reason I couldn't do that, but anyway. Back to what actually happened. I moved it up there. He goes, I take the bishop. He goes up again, and then I just move in, and that's checkmate. So it's actually really quick from where I was, but it's only quick because the knight's not there. I couldn't do that quickly without that. And actually, looking at the analysis, it kind of agrees. Like, if it didn't do, if I didn't get rid of that knight, there isn't such a short road to checkmate, even with all these pieces, which surprised me. I thought I was missing something really obvious, but actually, this is apparently not as like crushing as I thought it was. And so actually the analysis kind of fits with what it doesn't like my plan. It doesn't think it was a good plan, but its alternative plan takes way longer to win. So I'm like, who's the real genius here, motherfucker? And yeah, I just felt very good about this. I sacrificed a piece and I got checkmate out of it, and everything just played out exactly as I thought. I'm curious about this. Takes back. This is it approving of this knight to rook move, but it does think moving the queen up would have been better instead. I don't get that, because if you do that, I just take you with this bishop. I just get your queen for free. I know the queen's not the most important piece in this thing, but like neither's that bishop really. Like I can just bring it back. Like I haven't lost anything, so I don't get where it's going from that. Like I don't see how that plays out to its advantage. So that's kind of screwy, but. Yeah, I made a smart move, and it made me like chess. And now I'm thinking about how do you make a game where that kind of baiting, works reliably and is often a good idea, because it hasn't come up much in chess. This is one move out of 10 games that I played. I haven't had anything else like this, and that's on me probably partly for not thinking of it. But I want to make a game where more players can do more of that stuff more of the time.